So in today's project, I'm going to be doing a whiskey glass with a black decal. It's my first time attempting this and I hope it comes out great. So what you're going to need is your whiskey glass, of course, like this. You're going to need your vinyl, so I'm going to be using black for today's project, and some transfer tape, your scraper tool, your burnisher, and your reading tool, as well as your CRICUT JOY mat, and of course your machine. So before you do any design, I would highly suggest that you measure your design first and compare it to the item that you're going to be putting on your design. So I'm going to be using this glass today, a whiskey glass, and basically I'm going to just measure out so that my design fits perfectly. So I came up with 9.5 centimeters in width, if you can see here, 9.5 centimeters in width, and in height I will do about 7 centimeters in height and 9.5 in width. You can use CRICUT does sell these type of measuring tapes, but this is not the CRICUT branded one. It's a normal material measuring tape, anyone would do. So going into the next slide, you will be seeing me in Design Space, and I'm going to show you my design. So this is in Design Space. As you can see, my design, it's for a whiskey glass, so this vintage look is perfect. I'm gonna just make sure this is pre-designed. It was not a design that was on Design Space. So basically the border I got off of Google, I converted that into an HGV file, basically removing the background, and then the writing is what I did in the app. So if you go onto text, you'll be able to choose different fonts. You can choose between the CRICUT fonts, the system fonts that is on your phone, or you could just have a view of all. For system fonts, I'm using my iPhone. There is an app called iFont that you can download, and there is a variety of fonts on there. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video of how I install third-party fonts on my phone to use in CRICUT Design Space. But CRICUT Design Space has a variety of fonts, especially if you have CRICUT Access. It's 99 Rand a month and you have unlimited capacity to your designs. There is already pre-designed projects to do on there. It gives you all the measurements you need and so forth. There's different fonts, different images. Your creativity is endless when you have access. It's definitely not mandatory, but I would recommend to get it, especially if you're a beginner. It's nice to do something that's already designed. It takes the thinking out of everything. So yeah, so this is my design. As you saw in my previous video showing you what I'm going to be doing, the measurements that I want it to be is 9.5 in width. I'm gonna click the unlock button here, and then that allows you to change the height without changing its width, and I'm gonna be doing it at 7. So it's 9.5 by 7. I know it looks hella small, but we're just gonna zoom it in, and this is how it looks. I like how it looks, and I locked in the dimensions. I'm gonna be doing this on 2 whiskey glasses. So what I'm gonna do is go to actions, slide to the end, and duplicate. Cool, right? So this is the final look of how it looks, and now I'm going to show you how to make it. So once you have your sizing correct, you have your design, you're happy with everything, you're then going to click make it. I'm going to click make it. You can have different options, whether you want to do it without a mat, on a mat, or on a card mat. I'm going to do it on a mat, so you'll select on a mat. Now if you look, it's not attached, right? And I want it to be attached to make your life easy, and especially if your project is one color. So for mine it's just black. Having it attached means everything will be in perfect positioning. So what I'm gonna do if this happens to you and you forget to attach your design, you will just go back, you will highlight everything, and you will just highlight your design and click attach. You're gonna do this for the top as well. Highlight, click attach. And now if I click make it on a mat, you will see that it is exactly where it should be placed onto the cup, which makes your life twice as easy. So if you zoom in, you'll see how the cut will look. Everything is perfect. I like how it looks. I have enough material, and so we're gonna click next. Remember, this is a normal adhesive vinyl design. You do not need to mirror. Only time you need to mirror a design is if it is HTV, which is also known as heat transfer vinyl. So anything that's iron on, CRICUT terms iron on, then you will need to mirror. But for this, it isn't an iron on design, so leaving it as is perfect. So I'm going to click next. It's going to ask me to turn on my Bluetooth. Just go to my settings quickly, put on my Bluetooth. I'm going to look for my Joy. Here it is. Click Joy. It's connected to my machine. Go back. Click next. So the material that I'm going to be using is normal vinyl. So I'm just going to search here for vinyl and see what comes up. I'm going to choose the premium vinyl setting. And now it's telling us to load our mat. So in the next video, you're going to see me loading my mat onto the machine. And the machine is now going to cut it. Okay, so now that you saw how I designed my design, and now I'm going to basically load it onto my mat, my material, and load my mat into the machine. So I'm using this black adhesive vinyl. It is pre-cut already to my dimensions. As I said, the maximum is 11 by 16. So it's cut out to exactly what I need it to be. I'm going to use this just to rub it in so that it's getting flat. And now we're going to load it onto my machine. So basically what the machine is doing is making sure that you have enough material for your project. And once it's done loading, you're going to go back to the app and select go. Okay, now that we're back in the app, you can see that my blade has been loaded. I'm using the fine point blade, and my material has also been loaded. So now all we have to do is press go and watch your Joy go. So now it's preparing and it's going to start cutting. I'm sure you can hear it cutting at the back. In the next slide, you will see a snippet of the machine actually cutting out the design. Now that the machine is done cutting, this is how the final cut looks. As you can see, there are some inserts that have lifted while cutting, but that's fine because I need those out anyways. So now you're going to be watching me read this design. So I like to leave the design onto the mat. I just find that it's easier to read this way. There is another way to read that I'd love to try. It's called reverse reading, but I'm actually going to use transfer tape twice, the same transfer tape twice. So that won't work in this situation since I have two of the same design. So I'm just going to read what I don't need.